When we think of gaming, we often find ourselves immersed in worlds of fantasy, action, and escapism. War Robot, a multiplayer online game where you control giant mechs and battle other players, might seem like just another way to pass the time. You jump into a futuristic battlefield, commanding your robot to shoot, defend, and strategize. The thrill of the fight can be intense, but when you dig deeper into the game mechanics, you realize something striking. There's an intricate connection between them. World of War Robots and the real world, a connection that reveals a lot about human nature, competition, and the structures that drive both online and offline environments. At first glance, War Robots is a game like many others. It's competitive, fast-paced, and involves controlling massive robots armed with heavy artillery. But the more you play, the more you realize how much the game mimics the real world in ways you might not have expected. It's not just about your skill level or how many hours you put into it. There are other factors at play, and that's where things get interesting. You start to see that, just like in life, the game is shaped by three critical factors: money, skill, and shortcuts or cheats. And all three come with their own set of challenges and ethical dilemmas. Let's begin with money. In War Robots, as in many other games, there's a strong emphasis on acquiring the best robots, weapons, and upgrades. While it's certainly possible to grind your way to success, the game often pushes you towards spending money with it through microtransactions or special deals that speed up your progress. Money unlocks premium robots, better weaponry, and faster upgrades, essentially giving those with disposable income a way to bypass the grind. If you have enough to spend, you can become an unstoppable force on the battlefield almost immediately. Now, let's compare that to the real world. We know that in life, money often translates into power. We see it in business, in politics, and even in education. Those who have the resources, whether it's financial capital or access to networks, can often skip the difficult parts of the journey and leap to the top faster than those without those resources. Whether it's paying for a top-tier education, investing in the latest technology, or gaining access to influential circles, money can act as a shortcut, bypassing the need for years of hard work or struggle. But that's not to say that money guarantees success. In War Robots, for example, you might have the best robot in the game, but if you don't know how to use it, you'll still lose. This brings us to the second major factor: skill. In War Robots, you have a subset of players who may not have spent a dime, but have mastered the game's mechanics. They know the strengths and weaknesses of different robots. They understand the maps inside out, and they know how to work as part of a team to dominate the battlefield. These players don't have the top-of-the-line gear, but they've invested time and effort into honing their skills, understanding the nuances of the game, and learning how to use what they have in the most effective way possible. They might face opponents with superior robots, but because of their strategic thinking and experience, they often come out on top. Sound familiar? This mirrors the real world perfectly. There are countless examples of people who succeed based on skill alone, those who rise through the ranks of business, politics, or the arts because they know how to play the game with finesse and intelligence. They might not have the money to throw around, but they have the talent, determination, and the mindset to succeed. Whether it's a self-made entrepreneur who started with nothing, or a professional who climbed the corporate ladder through grit, these are the people who embody the principle that hard work, skill, and persistence can overcome financial disadvantage. In War Robots, just like in life, skill can level the playing field, even against those with deeper pockets. But here's the catch. The third group in War Robots, the ones who rely on hacks or cheats, introduces a whole new layer to the competition. These are the players who don't care about the grind, don't care about skill, and don't care about money. They turn to third-party software or exploits to manipulate the game, gain an unfair advantage, and win without putting in any real effort. Whether it's using bots to automatically farm resources or exploiting bugs to make their robots invincible. These players disregard the rules and circumvent the system to get ahead. In the real world, the same concept exists, though it may take different forms. Cheating, whether it's in business, politics, or personal life, often manifests as shortcuts taken through unethical behavior. Think about the countless corporate scandals where individuals or organizations use insider information, manipulate stock markets, or evade taxes. These real-world hacks aren't always visible, and they're not always easy to catch, but they're out there. In fact, some of the most powerful people in the world have risen to the top not by merit or skill, but through manipulation, deception, or exploiting loopholes in the system. In a sense, both war robots and the real world create a moral dilemma. Is it fair for those with the most money or power to get ahead? Is it acceptable to cheat if it leads to success? These questions might not have clear answers, but they do speak to the heart of why both the game and life feel like they're rigged for some and not others. What's fascinating is how these dynamics play out in real time in War Robots. Players who by their way to the top may find themselves facing off against skilled players who can easily outmaneuver them, even with inferior equipment, and likewise, players who cheat might win a battle or two. But ultimately, they can't keep up with players who actually understand the mechanics of the game. So, even in a world where money and cheats have a significant influence, skill and perseverance still play a vital role in long-term success. It's easy to get frustrated when you're on the losing end of this equation. You've spent hours building up your robot, learning the ins and outs of the game, only to be wiped out by someone who bought their way into a stronger position. It might feel unfair. It might even feel like the game isn't worth playing. The same happens in real life, doesn't it? You work hard, you push yourself, you play by the rules, only to watch others breeze through with the help of their wealth or influence. It can feel discouraging, but here's where the resilience of the human spirit comes in. Because as much as we complain about the unfairness of it all, there's something powerful about overcoming the odds, about taking what you have and making it work, about turning your skill into the ultimate weapon. That's what keeps people playing War Robots, even when it feels like the deck is stacked against them. And that's what keeps people going in real life, too. Whether you're facing down a powerful opponent in a video game or trying to break through in a competitive industry, the real victory often lies in the journey, in the growth, and in the mastery of your craft. In the end, it's not just about winning. It's about how you play the game. In War Robots, as in life, there's always going to be a battle between those who rely on their resources, those who rely on their skill, and those who try to cheat the system. And while it's tempting to wish for a level playing field, it's the players who focus on developing their own abilities who often come out on top in the long run. Sure, money and cheats can get you far in the short term, but it's the skill, the strategy, and the experience that truly make a difference in the end. At the heart of both the game and the real world is a simple truth, the most satisfying. Victories are the ones we earn, not the ones we buy or cheat our way into. As you log off today, whether you've won or lost, remember this: War Robots is not just about the robots or weapons. It's about the journey you take and the lessons you learn along the way. You might face opponents with better equipment, or even players who buy their way to the top. It might feel unfair, but here's the truth. It's not about what others do, it's about how you play. The real victory isn't always winning the match. It's about growing, improving your skills, and staying true to yourself no matter what. In both the game and in life, things can seem unfair at times, but how you respond to those challenges matters most. The best players aren't always the ones with the most resources. They read the ones with the drive to learn, the discipline to improve, and the resilience to keep going. So, whether in the game or in real life, focus on your own growth. Your effort and resilience will always be your strongest assets. We'll continue to create content that goes beyond the game, exploring the life lessons and insights we can all learn from these experiences. Together, we'll talk about overcoming obstacles, mastering challenges, and building the mindset for success, both on and off the battlefield. Thank you for being part of this community.